Are there things that could still be, holding you back, your progress back? Things that, that you do or your athletes might do that just don't come, first thing to mind. It's totally normal. Okay, I want to go over 8 things today that are the common mistakes that people could still be making. You, your athletes, whatever. I've been guilty of it too along the way. But I want to go over them because they're important. They're just important reminders and important. It might give you a different perspective on certain things. And from 20 years experience as a coach, these things are things that I've learned along the way, and I want to share this knowledge with all of you. Just insight from maybe a different perspective. So, with that, let's get to the list. There are 8 common mistakes that people could still be making, or you could still be making, that it might be holding you back. So, with that, number 8. Not enough variety. I'm looking at my training book, by the way. Not enough variety or periodization in the training. What I mean by that is, let's say you're training for a marathon and you're giving yourself 16 weeks, and you've already built up your base to get to a decent training volume. So what I would do, and how I structure my training is, if it's 16 weeks, I break it up into 4 cycles of 4 weeks each. That way you can introduce a new training stimulus each time. How the periodization fits into that is, it takes about 21 to 28 days or 3 to 4 weeks to adapt to a new training stimuli. And by doing that, you're not allowing adaptation, but you're allowing an easier transition to the next phase, and making sure that people aren't doing too much too soon. So you're catching your key races or your marathon on the upswing, which is important. Okay, it's more difficult to increase, take an easy week, increase, take an easy week. It's difficult to do that because every week there's a change, so your body's not having any chance to adapt. Even if you're increasing every week, and it's just fine, your body's still not having a chance to adapt the way you think it is. So another way to do it, and this is how I would break it down in an easy way. If the high volume is 60 miles a week, I would go 60, 60, 60, 50. Down week's the 4th week. Okay, 60, 60, 60, 50, 60, 60, 60, 50 for that first 3 cycles. And then for the last 4-week block before the marathon, maybe 60 the first week, and then drop it down to 45 or whatever it is, or 50, wherever you want to stay for training volume, and stay there for 3 weeks. Okay, that way you're getting a chance to adapt. Remember, it not only does adaptation require, or does it require adaptation going up, it also is a thing going down too. It's significant. Your body needs to adapt to an increase in volume or intensity, or a decrease in volume or intensity. What you don't want to do is increase both at the same time. Okay, but this is what I mean. It also, by introducing a new stimulus into the training, it can help keep you interested, keep you engaged, keep your athletes engaged, to focus on something different now for a couple of weeks. Okay, by doing too much of the same thing for too long, things can get stale, your legs can get stale, the body can get stale. So this is a great way of doing it. All right, number 7, forgetting the post-run stretch, or post-workout stretch, or post-race stretch. This one, I see a lot of folks, unfortunately. I see this happen, unfortunately, to many people. And sometimes, I get it, life gets in the way, or you don't have you're crunched for time or whatnot, but a lot of folks will ignore the post. Sometimes the pre-run, but even the post-run too. Stretch to flush out the legs after a hard run or workout or a race. Very, very important, okay? I'm going to put a stretching routine down below in the description that talks about the best kind of pre-race routine or pre-run routine. It's also the best post-race because it helps flush out lactic in the leg and speed up recovery for the next day. Okay, and keep in mind too, foam rolling is fine, massage is fine too. They're not stretching. The purpose of stretching is to increase your range of motion. Foam rolling does not do that. Okay, massage does not do that. Okay, so stretching is important, pre and post, especially if you have the time. If you don't, if you only have 5 minutes, that's totally fine. I would encourage you to stretch the calves, the hamstrings, the quads, the groin, and if you have time, a little bit of the lower back and hip flexors. Even in 5 minutes, you can do it in 5 minutes if you do it the right way. So watch that video, okay? That's an important one. Number 6, taking the day off before a race. I've seen so many people get in trouble, not in trouble, but so many people feel off on race day and it was a lot of times it's because they took the day off prior to the race. For me, as 20 years as a coach, I have my athletes take off the second day before a key race, if it's time, if an off day scheduled there. Okay, important. One, by taking the day off before a race, your legs can kind of get off rhythm. last thing you want to do is have essentially closing up the red blood cells, and you need another day to reopen them, and then the second day be the key day that you're ready to rock and roll again. So if it's a Saturday race, I encourage a Thursday day off. If it's a Sunday race, like a marathon especially, I encourage a Friday day off. And particularly for a marathon, you want to get everything precise. The last thing you want to do is be off on marathon day, because it's not like a 5K. You can't come back next week and do it again. So these little details are very, very, very important. So I encourage you to consider taking a day off 2 days before a race, not the day off before a race. Okay. Number 5, this one I've seen happen a million times. Not racing the way you train. Okay. What do I mean? Progression runs go from slower to faster, right? Or workouts, you generally will go from slower to faster. Sometimes people get caught up and go out too fast too soon. But if your training is designed to get progressively faster throughout the way, the last thing you want to do is go out way too hard on race day, which is the complete opposite of what you've been training. Okay, it's deviating from the plan. Okay, and just because let's say you're running, your goal is to run a 3:30 marathon, which is 8-minute miles. 7:40s can feel like a crawl, especially the first 15 miles. Doesn't matter if you're not ready for it, if you haven't trained for it, it can catch up to you. I'm not saying that it will every single time, but I've seen it way too many times catch up to people. Okay, I've seen somebody who wanted to run, and this was an example, 3:30, but he went out 7:30 per mile for the first 15 miles, and then he blew up because he wasn't ready for it. Even though 7:30 felt easy, it's not the game plan. It's not the way he trained. So the last thing you want to do is get caught up in that. Okay. Number 4, not listening to your body. Okay. And that could be signs that you might be overtraining, signs that you might be undersleeping. I'm going to put another video down below that those are signs that you might not be recovering properly, or getting hurt or getting sick and so on, and not sleeping enough, and the signs to look out for. I would encourage you to take a look at that after this video, so you can go. I go into greater detail. But not listening to your body, that also includes not listening to your coach if you have a coach, or a coach not listening to his or her athlete. It's important to be across the board. You know your body more than a coach does. Okay, so it's important to be transparent with each other. And this boils down into, if you haven't yet recovered from a hard workout, you might need an extra day before the next one. Not everybody responds the same way. Not everybody, recovers the same way. Okay, and in a few minutes, you'll see. I'm going to second that with another one of my my numbers here. But these are important things to keep in mind. Got to listen to your body always. Okay, it's okay to make changes. It really is. Changes, like I said, life gets in the way. If you have a job, if you have kids, and so on, stuff happens. So listening to your body. Another example could be, if you have a Thursday morning workout, right, and you're supposed to run Wednesday morning, but your boss called you in early, you have to work a double shift or whatnot, and then you couldn't run until Wednesday night late, and you're only getting 7-8 hours of recovery. That's an opportunity to move back that Thursday workout, or just run easy that day. There's no need to do it when you're not recovering properly. Okay. Last thing you want to do is get sick or hurt. So, number 3, not refueling in a timely manner. Okay, this is another one. Generally my rule of thumb, my rule of window is 30 to 45 minutes after a run or some kind of hard workout, a long run, a race. You want to put something back in your body, even if it's half a banana, bagel, chocolate milk, something to aid in the recovery process. Okay, and it's similar to a post-run stretch. A post-run active stretch helps speed up the recovery process, while putting fuel back into your engine that you just depleted is also an important component to the recovery process. You don't want to be feeling sluggish later on because you forgot to eat or forgot to put something in you. So if you're going out for a run, I encourage you to pop a bagel or a banana in your bag, piece of fruit, chocolate milk if you have it, or Gatorade, water, whatever it is. You want to put something back in your body afterward, something with some nutrients, electrolytes, or protein especially. That's why I recommend chocolate milk. That's an important one too. Number 2, not running the approach. So this is when I was kind of not listening to your body, or not racing the way you train. Number 2 is not running the appropriate pace ranges. Okay, for your current fitness, or for your athlete's current fitness. Okay, take a look down below too. I'm going to put a 1-mile time trial video. And what it does is it gives you a lot of data and tells you what your current fitness is, but it also tells you your current ability levels for the longer races and shorter races. And then it also there's another video that I'm going to put down below is how to set the appropriate pace ranges, okay, based on what you want for the 1 mile time trial. That helps guarantee that you're training in the right training zones. So you can progress from your current pace to your goal pace if you're doing it right. And last thing you want to do is be training for sub 3:30 marathon, but training with the sub 3 hour people, or people who are trying to break 3 hours. Your recovery is not going to be the same as theirs, or vice versa. If they're training for 3:30, you're training for 3 hours, their recovery is not going to be the same as yours. So and that applies to easy runs, long runs, progression runs, tempos, intervals, speed development, steady pace runs, marathon pace, tempos, everything. If you're training at the right zones, you will be in the right position to keep progressing forward, but you'll also minimize the risk of getting hurt and getting sick. Okay, there's an individualized component to training. That's one of the big ones. Okay, and number one, I've seen this happen. I've seen it happen recently too. Adding volume to certain days to make up for missing a day. Let's say you had a 60-mile week planned or whatever it is, and job got in the way. You had to work a double shift again or whatever. Or you had the runs all day, whatever it is, you couldn't run. The last thing you want to do is add that 8 miles from that day onto another day, because what that's going to do is it's going to throw off the recovery for the successive days after that, for 3, 4, 5 days after that. So everything is generally laid out in a way so that you can recover from your Tuesday workout, your Friday workout, your Sunday long run, okay, and come back for a Tuesday or Wednesday workout, whatever it is. If you add volume to a certain day, throws the dynamic off for potentially 7 to 10 days. And you also put yourself at a risk of getting hurt or sick. Don't want to do that, okay? Your health is important, always. And if you miss a day, you miss a day. Don't worry about making it up, okay? And I do talk about this. I'll actually put another video down below. These are all videos from my YouTube channel, by the way. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. You'll see plenty of training videos, fully detailed from 5K all the way up to the marathon for all different levels. By the day, by the week, by the month. You'll see how everything's laid out, and I explain everything. Okay, but that video I'm going to put down as well is how to lay out your training for the week, how to build your weekly volume, whether you're running 7 days or 6 days or 5 days. Okay, so and you'll see how everything is laid out, and you'll see how I explain everything too. So you'll get a better understanding of what days off mean, why not adding to another day, why throwing off the daily average for the week could be detrimental, and so on and so forth. Okay, these are important. So these are the 8 things I wanted to mention today. I hope they were helpful. If they were, please hit that thumbs up. If you have comments of your own, put them in the feedback down. If you have feedback of your own, please put them in the comments down below. I learn from you guys and gals as much as you guys learn from me. Okay, and I want to continue putting out videos. I do want to make this one of the best running channels out there. Once this channel is monetized, then I'm going to use any money I make to get editing equipment so that I could make more catchy videos and some pop-ups and things like that. I'm keeping it organic in the meantime, but your help by subscribing, sharing it with people that you know, recommending my videos are greatly appreciated. The quicker I get there, the quicker I'll do that stuff. So, but I want to keep the content really, really good and really, really informative and helpful. So I hope that was the case today. With that, be safe, look out for each other, okay, be healthy, talk to you next time.